Hi there, my name is Anamik Saha and I'm a Senior Lecturer at Goldsmiths, University of London. I was also the Principal Investigator on a research project called Rethinking Diversity in Publishing, a project which was a partnership between ourselves, Spread the Word, the Bookseller magazine, and was funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council. Now, this was a project that aimed to refocus the discussion of diversity as it takes place in the publishing industry and indeed beyond the publishing industry, throughout the creative industries in general. Diversity is generally conceptualised in terms of the number of people from racialised backgrounds who work in publishing or are published as authors. But with this project, we wanted to go away from the numbers game, if you like, and explore the processes or experience of publishing books by authors of colour. And we wanted to think about the particular obstacles and challenges that they might encounter as racialised people. And what we found was that publishers generally lack confidence when working with authors of colour, and this is derived from the lack of understanding they have about audiences beyond the typical white middle-class reader. So a really important part of this project was disseminating our research findings to the industry at large. And for that purpose, we worked with Words of Colour Productions. We had seen the amazing work they had done with Spread the Word's Writing the Future report from 2015. So they were our first choice to develop a communication strategy based on the launch of the report that came out of this project. So back in 2019, we had envisaged a traditional press campaign around the launch of the report with maybe a launch party involving 80 people in a room kind of talking about the report and helping to celebrate its launch, and hopefully generating some press coverage and radio coverage as well. But then, of course, the COVID pandemic hit and we had to radically rethink our plans. And Words of Colour immediately came up with a digital strategy involving both a social media campaign, but also an ambitious series of launch events that ran over a week, involving conversations and interviews with high-profile figures from the publishing industry, thanks to their amazing network of contacts. What we found really interesting about this what surprised us about this was that the new digital strategy was by no means a plan B. In fact, it felt like an upscaling of our original plans. So as well as coverage in the key outlets like The Guardian, Time Education Supplement, BBC Radio, the Bookseller itself, we reached over 500 people, I would say, in terms of the number of people who attended one or more of our launch events. And this was way beyond our expectations, and certainly more than the in-person launch party that we had already planned. In that regard, we cannot be happier with how the report was received and how it has been discussed, particularly in terms of shifting the ways in which diversity is often talked about, like I say, in the publishing industry and beyond. And as such, we really need to thank Joy Francis and her team at Words of Colour for their vision, for their flexibility, and for their ambition that ensured that Rethinking Diversity in Publishing made the impact that we hoped it would.